Hello, Facebook. Oh my goodness gracious. I have not been live in a while. And I'm not sorry about that. I've taken a step back. And to be completely honest, I really didn't do a whole lot of work in December. And yet I was still earning close to 5 figures. So I want you to know that if you are in business, if you are growing your business, if you're growing who you are and how you want to show up in this world and create and receive and build and expand, like this is such a great time to do it. And I'm doing it, and the women who are coaching with me are doing it, and it's just creating this amazing compound amplification experience for all of us. And so I really want to bring that to you. Obviously, if you're like, I don't want that, then you probably shouldn't be on this video, and you probably shouldn't really be in my world, because I am here to do massive things. I am here to do massive things in the realms of spiritual ascension, relationship building, client experiences, building your business, entrepreneurship, just oh my gosh, and the crazy, wildest nuances that occur during that journey in itself. And I had a client, I had a session not too long ago today, and it's kind of why I wanted to touch upon this topic for everybody, because I had an amazing session. It was booked as like a psychic mediumship session, but it was really like psychic and coaching, which is just, what I tend to do anyways. I can feel and I can see and I can tap into a variety of different components that my client could be experiencing and not really recognizing at the time, right? And we started to kind of isolate particular beliefs and different patterns and different cycles that had kind of put her in this position where she felt like she didn't have any power anymore. And so it was really extraordinary, because by the time we were done with our session, she had felt so different about what she was capable of achieving, and the conversations that she could have, and how she could actually stand in her truth and express what she wants, which is what I feel most women really feel challenged with. Hello, Miss Tasha. Is she felt like it was her responsibility to manage everybody else's emotions, everybody else's stuff, all of their baggage, all of the just different nuances that they're going through in their life, and that it was all kind of landing on her doorstep, and being the wise person in all of this felt like it was her job to be the caretaker and the responsible party for everybody else. And what this was taking from her in the process was so much more than just time, right? We lose energy. We lose so much more than just time when we are stuck in these patterns of other people's stuff. And so it's not even so much about talking about other people's patterns and their stuff. Like, I talk a lot about that in a lot of my containers, because learning about people and studying behaviors and characters and all of these different things that make us us, it is so important to study these things. This is your schooling now as an adult. This is Earth School. It's like, now you get to study behavior patterns. You get to study your own patterns. You get to study how other people tick and trigger, and, not allowing yourself to like go into all of that, which is what I really feel was the huge revelation that came up in this session with my client, was the fact that she did not realize that it wasn't her job to take care of everybody. And I see this with women in business all the time, that it is so difficult for us to balance our home and our family life. And so we choose not to do the thing, because we're afraid of what's going to happen, what the consequence will be. And then we tend to punish ourselves, and then we get to like dive into all of the shame and the guilt of that experience. And so it's very easy to manipulate ourselves as women. It's very easy to manipulate each other as women. And the reason why is because we get tangled in emotions. anybody who humans get tangled in emotions, but I find that not as many men get tangled in emotions as women do, because not as many men have really explored their gifts of being empathic or psychic or channels or healers or just energetically sensitive. And so for more women who are tapping into, like, very organically, without even probably realizing it, tapping into a lot of different emotions, tapping into different people's like belief systems, what their triggers are, how they believe things should be, and also the limited matrix of our ego and our mind that absolutely pigeonholes who we are, what we're capable of, what we're here to do, how we're going to do it, all of those things. And so the reason why I wanted to talk about like business and money is because this is where you really do learn who you are. And so I started my personal development and spiritual journey around the ages between like 13 and 15. I'm going to say 13 and 15 because those were the ages that I really started getting very curious about human behavior, but also with like tarot readings, astrology, energy healings, chakras, just energy in general, right? Consciousness, energy, and what lies beyond what we can see. And so that journey started for me very young. And so I'm telling you that I am like 25 plus years in, and I started my business almost 4.5 years ago, and nothing could have prepared me for that journey. Okay? Because I think that what happens is we tend to create comfort around ourselves to cushion our lives. And it's not a bad thing or a wrong thing, because our brain is very smart. Our brain is like, guess what? This doesn't feel good. And so I'm going to put you here. And you're like, yeah, I should go there. Yeah, because this doesn't feel good. I don't like the way being around this person makes me feel. I don't like the way this person makes me feel. I don't like the conversations I'm having with this person. I don't like being in the presence of this person. I don't like it. And so we've created things that, like, maybe you would get a new job then. You don't like the people you work with, you get a new job. You don't like your job, you get a new job. You don't like where you live somewhere else. You don't like the car you drive, you do something to try to create a new situation where you can get a new car. And we have done all of these things to try to make us be the person that we think we should be, right? I should be doing this because it will result in that. This plus this equals this. And in some ways this is true. You know, it's like if I work really hard, meaning like I'm very focused. It doesn't mean like I work, you know, from the moment I wake up until my knuckles are bloodied at the end of the day. It means when I work hard, it's like I'm attentive, I'm intentional, I'm taking the time, I'm putting the effort forth. I am sitting in more awareness of myself. I'm practicing good patterns and behaviors that I know are going to result in a desired outcome. Like, I just know it. I feel it in my body. I know that if I work hard on this and that I put the energy towards it, if I'm attentive and intentional, then at some point it's going to happen. 1 + 1 = 2. The timing fucks with us. We get all caught up in the timing stuff where it's like, well, 1 + 1 = 2. It should be an immediate 2 because the 1 and the 1 are there, and then the 2 should immediately follow because you've added them together. And it's like, that doesn't always happen that way. Time does not exist in the way that you think it does. It just doesn't. Okay? Like, let's just wrap our heads around that. Time does not exist the way you think it does. And you know that it doesn't exist the way that you think it does because of how obsessed you've become with it. And because of how you have gone through experiences that have felt like they go by really freaking fast. And you've also had experiences where they felt like they were dragging for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And the time isn't actually being affected at all. It's your consciousness that is affected. Your consciousness is impacting time, okay? It's not necessarily time that is impacting your consciousness. So that's just like a curious thing right there. And I bring these things up because when you start your wealth journey, you start your business journey, and I say wealth journey because wealth journey is not the same as a money journey. Your money journey is going to be like week to week, month to month. Your wealth journey is building exponentially and expanding on that because you can. Because you can. okay? Because you're here and you have a desire for it and because you can. But what happens also is that when you start your business, you're going to be like, okay, I've got these great ideas. I am ready to go. I'm ready to launch. And then you're like, okay, what am I going to say about it? How am I going to say it? Who am I talking to? How do I decide on my price point? How do I decide what this course or this service is valued at? You know, how do I decide these things for myself? How do I decide who I want to work with and how I want to help and who I can help? How do I want to market myself? How am I going to talk about myself? How am I going to talk about who I am? And so this is where I'm saying, like, this is where you start to really figure out who you are, because there will be resistance. It's like, if I am a psychic medium and I want to go out into the world and be like, I'm a psychic medium, the first thing that came into my mind before I did that in 2020 was the thing that came in my mind was all of the people that were not going to like me saying that. Literally the first thing that came in my mind, not all of the people that I am going to help, all of the people that I'm going to bring healing energy to and unblock their blind spots and unleash their magic and show them a really clear path forward and action steps and all this stuff. It wasn't that. It was, okay, I'm about to post this thing. And now I'm anticipating all of the people that are going to not like me, think it's stupid, think I'm stupid, think how I'm showing up is stupid, think that it's wrong, it's incorrect, I'm dumb, I'm incorrect, it's bad, it's all these things. And so I bring this up because that just shows you the ways that you punish yourself. Okay? So as much as I claimed ownership over who I was at that time and what I wanted to do, there was also this huge block of fear that was like, there are probably like 15 people that are going to have feelings that don't feel good to you about who you are, what you're doing, and how you're coming across with that. And so I was very careful. I was very careful. And so I created Facebook groups, and I didn't post on my main wall, my main profile, for a very long time. And I definitely didn't go live on my main profile for a very long time because I was really afraid that all of the other people on my profile that knew me from many, many years ago would have some sort of crazy, wild reaction to what I'm doing, which was really just all in my head. Because even if they did have a crazy, wild reaction, I've dealt with people with crazy, wild reactions to what I'm doing, and I dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? It's like the unknown that we're scared of. But in the process of developing your business, you are developing who you are, because now you're building up the courage to be like, okay, can I do this? How bad do I want it? How much am I willing to give of myself to achieve this desire, this dream, this goal that I have? And then when we start getting into the money stuff, it's like you block receiving money because now you're afraid of what it's going to mean that you've received it. What does it mean if I receive all of this money in my life? What does it mean if I receive all of this business in my life? Does it mean that I'm now responsible to take care of everybody who knows that I'm doing this extraordinary work in my business and that I have a major profit margin that just keeps growing? Am I responsible for other people? Should I give them free services and free classes because they know me and they're my friends or they're my family or they've been around since I started this journey? This is where I'm saying, like, you really start to figure out who you are, because your business will bring out who you are and your money will bring out who you are. There are going to be people that mismanage their life and mismanage their money and mismanage their business. That's who they are. But the people that continually show up and they're like, okay, I'm figuring this out. Okay, I'm going to try again. Okay, that didn't work the way I wanted it to, but I'm not going to stay there. I'm just going to keep pushing this forward. I'm going to keep building my business. I'm going to keep building my wealth. I'm going to keep building myself. I am on a path of self-mastery that results in a very, very successful and profitable business that serves at the highest level. That also puts me in the channel of receivership to extraordinary amounts of wealth because I can, and I am, and I'm a receiver, and I'm good at receiving. I wasn't a good receiver. This is what I learned. because I was afraid that if I was receiving a lot, then it would mean something else. And the thing is that like, well, what did that mean then? If you have a lot that's coming in, new people, people who are paying that want to work with you, and I felt myself pump the brakes because I was afraid that I would get in over my head. I was afraid that I would attract too much, that I wasn't going to be able to handle it. And that's just a true statement. So it showed me where I was like, okay, this is where I strengthen. This is where I strengthen. Because if it's like, all right, well, the money's coming in and I'm not used to holding this much money because this has never been a part of my life before. I've never been put in a position to hold this much money before. And so sometimes people that get in that position, they start spending it really fast because they're afraid that something else is going to come along and take it from them. And that's not necessarily our mindset that feels really good either. So this is what I'm saying about building your business, building your wealth. You start to really see who you are. It's not that money is bad. It's not that having a business is selfish. It's not that doing something that makes you feel really good and, going towards your desires makes you bad. It's not any of those things, especially when you have this alignment. When you're like, oh my God, I just feel this alignment within myself that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. People don't like it, but I'm going to do it anyway. I have this alignment that I'm just here to receive astronomical levels of wealth in my life so that I can serve at the highest level. I can do that because I can. But the times that I thought that I shouldn't is because there was a shame. There was a punishment inside of my body that did not want me to be able to hold that kind of money because of what else it might mean for me. So these were the areas that I had to start strengthening for myself, strengthening my resolve around rejection, abandonment, trust, strengthening my resolve around money coming in, money going out, making investments, and being a really great receiver, living in such a high capacity of gratitude, which stretched my capacity to hold more money, which stretched my capacity to hold more people, which stretched my capacity to do more, be more, hold more, do more, be more, hold more, stretching, stretching, stretching. And then there's also that saying of like higher levels, higher devils. Why? What does that mean? These are the kinds of things that fucking scare the shit out of people, especially women, from going after what they want to go after in life, because we fear the shame and the punishment. We fear the disappointment. We fear letting people down. And we fear that if we can't be responsible and take care of everyone, that we shouldn't be doing it. If these people in my life are still not first in my life when I start my business, then this business will be bad. And there might be people that convince you of that. There might be people that say, well, I mean, you're going to spend, so much more time working on your business now. When are we going to spend time together? Your business is going to take an awful lot of time up in your schedule. What are we going to do? What am I going to do? What are the kids going to do? And this is where, again, it comes down to your conviction, your resolve, and your will, your determination, your power, your truth to say, I can juggle it all. And I'm learning about myself and learning the effective ways in which I can do this, because there are people out there doing this. There are people out there doing this. There are women who are extraordinary, who are literally doing some of them are doing 6-7 figures a month in their coaching industry, in their coaching business, in the coaching industry. And they are pulling in extraordinary amounts of money because of how they've scaled, because of how they've created digital assets and content and constantly providing new things to bring to people. And so there's so many different avenues that you can take your business, that you can take your wealth story, your wealth journey. But the truth of the matter is that none of it will matter. None of it will matter until you really get clear with you, your heart, your soul, your mission, your purpose, your truth, your power, your desires, the things that light you up, the direction that you really feel yourself being pulled in, versus this is where I should be. This is what I should be doing. This is how, they want it. This is how they prefer it. If it happens this way, then I will get in trouble. I will be yelled at. I will be looked at differently. I will be judged. The truth of the matter is that most people just fear judgment and they fear abandonment. Hello, Miss Patricia. Most people fear abandonment. They fear rejection. They fear loss. And you can apply that into so many different things that you are doing. It's like, if I'm not doing this, is it because I fear abandonment, I fear rejection, or I feel loss? Ask yourself those things every time you feel like, ugh, I want to do this thing and I can't do it. Ugh, I want to do this thing and I can't do it. Oh my gosh, I want to do this thing. You know? And so for those of you who have been in business for a little while and you haven't gone live yet, I want you to post it. I want in the comments that, like, yes, I have a business and I haven't gone live yet, to talk about your business. Not to talk about what cake you're baking or, you know, some footage of something else, right? Like something about your business. How many of you have not talked about who you are, what you do, what you stand for, what you believe in, and what you stand against? And I'm serious about the standing against and standing for, because if you are fluffy and you're like, I just love everybody and I just love everything, that is a bunch of bullshit. Nobody feels that way. Nobody loves everything and loves everything. All right? Because there's contrast. So if you are an animal lover, then you probably stand for humane animal rights and shelters and stuff like that. And that would also mean that you stand against neglect and abuse and stuff like that. So see, right now, you already isolated something that you stand for and that you stand against. So now I want you to consider something in your own business practice that you really, 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 really stand for, and something that you're like, hardcore, I really stand against this. Like, I will not do this in my business. And be careful with that, because honestly, as your business grows, you might change. So for example, when you're demonstrating authority on something and you're saying, like, you know, there's a lot of really big businesses out there, really big coaching businesses out there, and they charge so much, and they charge so much, but not me. I don't. Is that the way you're going to feel forever? I don't know about that. Hi, Miss Marcy. So it's like, you can't necessarily stand in front of your audience and be like, you know, work with me because I'm always going to make sure that you can afford my prices. I'm always going to make sure that you have the ability to work with me. Honestly, until I get to the point where my money is pretty passive, I charge. Because there's an energetic exchange. And when the money becomes so passive, that will give me the ability to offer scholarships. That will give me the ability to offer discounted courses and different things like that, which honestly, I have a lot of those already. In the past 4 years, I have created 60 programs. 60. And that's not counting the lives that I've done like this, where I just kind of show up live and I talk about a thing and then that's it. 60 programs. So be ready, because all of them are being bundled, repurposed. Like, all of those are going to be resold. Oh, thank you, Marcy. But money will show you who you really are. I've seen people who were so nasty without money, and they were nasty when they had it too. And so when somebody told me that, like, people who have money they're not good people. They're not good people. People who have too much money, they're not good people. And I was like, all right, well, let's look at the contrast of that then. Does that mean that people who don't have money are good people? Is this truth? Is this fact? Can we look this up somewhere and it will be validated as like this official statement of universal law? It's like, no. But I can tell you, and I do believe this is fact, and I do believe this is universal law, that it will show you who you really are when you don't have it and when you do have it. When I didn't have it, I was a very, very Frustrated woman. Frustrated because I didn't know what to do. Frustrated because of the lack. Frustrated because feeling lost. And so all of that right there, what that tells me is that when I didn't have money, I lacked leadership. But was it because of the money that I didn't have leadership? Or was that just an area of my life where I didn't feel like I could lead? That's different, right? There were areas of my life that I felt like I could lead extraordinarily. And that was the work that I was doing because I was really good at that. As a mom, I felt like, I'm good at this, like as a wife, I'm good at this. Like there's things that I just felt like I can do this and I feel good about that. But controlling how money would come in and out of my life, that was something that I couldn't lead myself through at that time. And so that's what I learned, was that it wasn't really about the money. It was about my leadership over money. And that's a very different thing. And so the business will show you who you are. The money will show you who you are. And so as you grow in that, the personal development, the evolution is so important and it's so powerful because it only helps you to nervous system regulate what's happening in your mind and your body so that you can start making space to hold more. You're stretching your capacity to be more. And when you are more, you can hold more. It's just, that's the 1 + 1 = 2. That's the 1 + 1 = 2. It's not necessarily, well, I did this thing and then this other thing, and then it should be this. There's a lot of things that we think should be, and they're not. So, and then we take it onto ourselves as our responsibility, our fault, our punishment, our victimhood for why things aren't working. So, point being is that my mission right now is to help women get extraordinarily clear on their money story, their wealth journey, the power of their truth, the source of that power that is within you, the intrinsic power, not the circumstantial power that comes from like, well, I kicked this person out of my life because they sucked and now I feel so much better. That's circumstantial. That means like you don't have to deal with that person anymore, so you feel better. And so my goal is to help you really grow in your power and build confidence, build healthy communication, harmonize your relationships, set boundaries where they need to be set, and get very clear on what the truth is and where the facts are. Because there's a lot of things that get tangled in the emotional bullshit that are not true and they are not fact. But you have adopted them as truth and as fact, and you're living in this frequency that you don't need to live in. And even if you don't have your own business, I work with women who are in corporate executive positions, who are directors, regional directors, vice presidents, like who are heavy hitters in the corporate world. And so it's not just about entrepreneurship. It is about how you function in business. Your business or somebody else's business. And what you contribute, what you receive, and calibrating that to the highest timeline possible. So, with that being said, I wanted to get this message across to everyone. Today is a new moon in Capricorn. It is the second new moon of this month because we had a Sagittarius new moon on December 1st. We're closing out the month with another new moon in the really strong and structuring sign of Capricorn. And I will tell you that this is the second Capricorn new moon of 2024 because we kicked off 2024 with a Capricorn new moon. Okay, so we're starting the energy off of this new creation, the new beginnings, a little bit early before the ball drops tomorrow night. That's okay. And so it just gives you a little bit of an extra wiggle room to kind of jump into this and set some really positive intentions for yourself, for your life, for your business, for your people, for your money, for all of the things. And on January 1st, I am starting my 21-day manifesting alchemy challenge. Okay, so you have to be an alchemist queen, my membership, to access this. And every day for 21 days, I am going to go in there and I am going to talk to you and I am going to help you fine tune your mindset and the energetics around manifestation. Okay, this is a $55 investment for the 21 days. So please comment below or DM me if you would like to participate in this. Everything will be featured on Voxer. So what I do is basically I'm just sending voice notes, and they can range anywhere between, I don't know, 7 and 15 minutes. Everything that I'm doing in there is I speak to the unconscious part of your brain. Yes, oh yay, Marcy. I speak to the unconscious. I'm not the person that's like, okay, so if you want to find success in your business, then I want you to go and post 5 things that you do. It's like, that's a strategy, but the energetics behind it, if you're like, okay, well, I guess I got to post these 5 things, then guess what? That doesn't come across very good. It's not just about strategy. It's about the energetics. It is about the mindset. It is about the undercurrent of your mind and emotions, and that's who I talk to. I talk to the deepest levels and layers of who you are, because when you're talking to me, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, I didn't realize this. Whoa, where did that come from? Oh my gosh, I feel this now. Oh my gosh, I've got goosebumps. That's how I know that I'm not just talking to your conscious awareness, I'm getting into the deeper stuff, and that is my goal. That's not an accident. It is on purpose. It's just one of my genius things that I do. It's something that just comes easily to me. Is I can find it, I can feel it, the blind spots are there, I'm going to figure out what they are, I'm going to bring them to the surface. And that is when you get to really start working on the things that you thought you couldn't fix, the things that you thought you couldn't restore, the things that you thought set in stone. This is it. That's how it goes. Done. No, it's not. I didn't hear the fat lady sing, did you? Ain't nothing over till it's over. Okay? And it's not over until it's over. And that means you must pull the plug. You must pull the plug. Are you pulling the plug on your business? Are you pulling the plug on yourself? Are you pulling the plug on your relationships? Are you pulling the plug on your money? Where are you falling short for you right now? And how can this be shifted? Not through punishment, not through shame, not through guilt, not through disappointment, but harnessing the power of, I can pivot this, and I'm going to. Okay? So anybody who is interested in joining that challenge, Marcy, I got you. And anybody else who would like to join, we start on January 1st, 21 days. Creatrix, that is a 6-part group coaching program that is all about, it's really about sensuality and intimacy and magnetism in the realms of sex, money, and power for women. Because we have been shamed for a very fucking long time to feel guilty about having power, money, and our sex. And it's not us that started this problem. But we're going to be the ones to correct it. And we have perpetuated it over time because we've now taken it out on each other women. And so to stop this, we must triage the situation immediately, and we must really get very clear on who we are, the dynamics of how our energy flows, what we believe is true about our own sexuality, our own power, our wealth, and who we are here to be in the face of others that are uncomfortable with that. Because there's going to be people that are uncomfortable. But there's also going to be people that flock to you like white on rice, because they're like, holy shit, she's speaking my language. She's doing the thing. She's saying the stuff. She's going for it. Look at her. She's launching. She's like a fucking rocket shooting off into outer space. I'm hitching myself to that. So you can think about it in a couple of different ways. You can think about it as like, ah, or you could think about it as like, ah, you know? Okay. Miss Shawn, I've been very stagnant for the past couple of weeks. I've been very sick for the last 9 days, but I had much time to look inward. It's exactly what I've needed. It is time to get moving. You've got a business plan. You've got ideas. You've got a vision. You've got all of the stuff that you need. The thing that you are missing right now is the ability to lead yourself, because you are punishing yourself and you are allowing yourself to really sit in shame. And I'm going to ask you to slay the fucking shame, Pick yourself up, take full responsibility for who you are, the choices you've made, and reclaim your power to do the thing that you actually want to do instead of what everybody thinks you should do. I don't give a shit what other people think you should do. Who are they? Who are they? Oh, they're just the people that have been giving their opinion for the past 50 years, right? Well, good for them. This can be a whole new pivot for you, where you are somebody who listens, but you don't take it all in. You're somebody who observes, but does not adopt it. You're somebody who is contemplating, but not anchoring in and deciding. Yes, I reclaim my power. The focus, the intention, that is a big one. And I felt it for myself too. And I took a step back this whole month. All of December, I've really taken the time to appreciate my life, my family, my business, and what's coming in the next year, which I'm calling the Zone of Miracles. It is a 9-year, and there are really extraordinary things coming. So, that being said, I'm going to let everybody go. I've got to get home. I've got a daughter that wants to use my car, and she's on Christmas break, so that's perfectly fine. Let's see. Yes, Alchemy Challenge, we start on the 1st. Creatrix starts on the 7th. And so with Creatrix, 6 live group calls on Zoom. The investment for this is $777. If anybody wants to do an installment plan, I am allowing a 3-month installment of, I think it was $287 for 3 months. So if that feels more doable, then let me know. But that is the investment for that. Okay. I love you so much, everyone. I hope you have a really beautiful day. And happy holidays. Happy New Year. It's going to be a freaking great new year. I'm so grateful to have you in my world, sharing this journey with me. I love you all so much. Mwah! Bye for now.